Hello, hello, everyone, and happy Galentine's Day. So I'm going to give you a few minutes and let people join. If you're here for the replay, welcome. Come on in. As always, if you have comments and or questions, please make sure you post them. I will answer them as I go along and as I see them. I appreciate you taking this time out of your Thursday to chat with me. I realize that some of you are probably going to be on your lunch break, or if you're watching it in the evening, you could be watching it while you're having dinner or with your family. Either way, however you're watching it, I appreciate you for being here. And as always, I value your time. I just realized that I don't have my tea. That's not good. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to silence my phone because I don't think I did that. So let's make sure that I get that done because I would hate for my phone to start going off while we're in the midst of our chat. All right, so I feel like we waited long enough. If people are going to come, they would have come. So I want to welcome you once again to the Galentine's Day version of Tea Talk Thursday. So Tea Talk is basically where on Thursdays I come before you and I drop some tea. Doesn't have to be bad tea, doesn't have to be good tea. It could just be regular tea. As a tea drinker, I felt like it is so fitting because normally I am sitting around chatting with friends, usually over tea or an adult beverage, but it seemed like the right thing to do at this time. So I'll introduce myself again. My name is Tamika. I am the mouth of IG at Tamika Talks, and I'm the thought leader at Life and Pumps, where I'm based in the Philadelphia area. So we're going to get started. So with today being Galentine's Day, it is a day where we celebrate Valentine's Day with our gal pals. So I thought it would be great to start it off with just some gift ideas. If you're thinking of meeting up with your gal pals and maybe you want to have something for them just to exchange gifts, I think it's a great idea. A lot of women talk about wanting roses and things of that nature. And there's no reason that you can't buy your own roses or you can't buy roses for a friend. But I just had some items that I thought would be a great idea for maybe you to share with your friends. You can talk about it. So we're going to get started with that. All right, let's see. So the first here is well-read. Can you see that? It looks really blurry. Well-read Black girl. So this is an anthology of stories about, Black girls. I think it's a really great read. It's easy read, and it's perfect for those times when maybe you're not looking to read a complete book, but you just want to get a little bit of reading in it. So I tend to every now and then read some of the stories. This was actually given to me as a gift for Galentine's Day. So I thought, hey, why not share this with you? Books are a perfect gift. It's the gift that keeps on giving. They can keep it, they can regift it, which is often what I encourage other people to do. Regift the gift. Let someone else experience the reading of the book. And of course, if it's a book that you really, really love, then I always say just tell them that you like it back. You just want to let them borrow it. One good thing also that you might want to check out if you don't want to go to your library is the Book of the Month Club. I make sure that I post a link below so that if you guys want to check out the Book of the Month Club, you totally can. It's a great way to get books sent to you. You don't have to go to the bookstore. You don't really have to think about it. Or if you like electronic books, you can also, download books to your Kindle computer or your phone. I can't read on my phone. I don't know if it's the screen is too little, and I really don't like to read on my computer. I do have a reader device that I have not been using the way I should be, but what you're gonna do. All right, that's the first gift. The second gift is by Bando. And what this is it is a shower speaker. So I feel like, you should always give gifts that people just aren't thinking about or, that they need or maybe they even want. So what's cute about this is basically, once you charge it, it has the suction that you can stick in the shower. You turn it on, doesn't matter if it gets wet, and you can sing in the shower. Who doesn't like singing in the shower? I do my best singing in the shower. So for me, this is a perfect gift. Once again, it's by Bando. It is a waterproof shower. Of course, as always, the link will be below if you guys want to check it out. Now, this is something that I physically have not opened yet, but I'm really excited about trying. It's by Color Switch. And what it is it's an instant brush cleaner. So if you guys wear makeup, you know that you should be cleaning your brushes. At least I hope you know that. So I try to clean my brushes every month. And I don't generally wear makeup every day. It's every so often. But I just know that bacteria can build on the brushes, even if you're wearing an organic style of makeup, which I try to do. But this is cute. It's small. Basically, it requires nothing. You basically just rub your brush up against it in a circular motion, wash it, soap and water, and you're done. Pretty cool. And of course, when you're drying your brushes, you should always dry them upright with the bristles up. And I usually fan mine out so that that way it can get the most, it'll dry faster and dry evenly. So the next thing I want to show you is by Urban Elements Wellness. So I had the privilege of attending now in New York Now, which is kind of a retail event in New York City. It was at the Javits Center. And basically what happens at this event is it is artisans and anyone who has some type of brand that they would like or product that they would like for you to carry in the retail store. So I got to talk to some of the people and, I don't like all the trendy stuff. I like things that, will sustain, it's going to kind of last. And I feel like it's cute and good for you. So this is really cute. I don't know if you guys can really see this. I'm hoping that you can. I loved it. This scent here is called Abundance. And Abundance is a mixture of frankincense, geranium, and lavender. And basically it's a roll-on. So for any woman, or really even a man, I know that there are days where you are very stressed and you're looking for something to calm you down. And maybe you're not in a place where you can meditate at the time, or you could be in the midst of a meeting. You can always pull it out, put a little bit on your wrist and rub it together. And it's very calming and relaxing. And once you breathe it in, it's just a reminder, for yourself with this particular one, a reminder of yourself of the abundance, like you're welcoming positive abundance in for you. Spongel. So this is great. So I actually use this for travel a lot because what it is it's soap. And so this particular one has 5+ uses. But what it is it's a soap sponge. Basically, you wet it, you rub it all over you, you rinse it when you're done, and then you let it air dry. So as an eco-friendly girl, this is amazing for me because basically it reduces waste. I mean, the only waste is the plastic, which I did ask her was recyclable because, certain plastic is and certain is not. And it totally is. So definitely check this out. This is a cool gift for someone that that is a traveler. All right, so you have that. And then one of the other things that I love are journals. I mean, I feel like you can't go wrong. Did you guys see that? You can't go wrong with a journal. I mean, everybody has thoughts they need to write. And what I find is a lot of people don't realize the importance of a brain dump. So what I try to do before I go to bed at night, because I always have so much going on in my brain, it's hard for me to settle down, is I just write whatever it is. Doesn't have to make sense. I just write. And at some point when I feel like it's all done and gone, then I can relax and then I can watch TV or go to sleep or whatever the case is going to be. So definitely try that out if you have a pal who has a lot of ideas and needs to get them down on paper so that later she can come back to them to figure out how to work it out. Vera Bradley. Vera Bradley has some of the cutest little like wallets and tote bags. So this one I thought was cute. It's red to go with the Galentine State theme. It's the perfect wallet. You can put your ID there, money, cute little wallet, and your keys can clip on here. That basically, you can stick it in your wallet, stick it in your purse, and when you're on the go, just grab it and go. So this is a good one as well. Let's see. The next gift that I think a lot of people, and you probably already know about it and use it, are Alex and Annie bracelets. So a lot of people think that these are like teeny bopper bracelets. I feel like these are everybody bracelets. So what I love about them is they come in different, you can get different tones, but the charms are different and they represent different things. So this one is a dove. As a member of Zeta Phi Beta, the dove is significant to me, but also the dove of love and peace is why I like the dove. So Alex and Annie, you can pretty much get anywhere. I did see that Nordstrom Rack is having Clear the Rack this week, which means you get, I believe it's 25% off anything with the red tag. And oftentimes they have Alex and Annie. So if you have a Galentine's to buy for, head to the rack and see what you can get. Now, this is probably one of my favorite. It looks crazy, I know. One of my favorite things that I think everybody should check out. And actually, I've been giving these to a lot of people that I've done work with this year. And I gave it to them as Christmas gifts. These are warmsies. Yes, warmsies. They're bedroom slippers. But what happened is they have beads inside of them that when you put it in the microwave, it heats up and it gives a relaxing, warming effect onto your feet. So if you know someone who is constantly on their feet, every day, moving and shaking, this is a great gift to consider for them. It's very comforting. I love putting them in the microwave. What I do is I generally will put them in a bag, or I'll wrap them in a paper towel, especially if the bottom is dirty. You don't want your things from the floor to be in your microwave, but I wrap them in a paper towel. I put them there and I take them off and I just let my feet experience all the warmthness. It's totally great. So that is what I have for gifts for your Galentines. Well, actually, some of the here, I'm gonna show you some others that you can totally give to your Galentines as well. If you're in the Chicago, them to the car show. People are always asking me when I encourage others to go to the car show. They're like, "What is it that you like about the car show?" It's fun. It's exciting. You have the opportunity to get in cars that generally you won't ever be able to get into. I mean, like they have some classic cars that you can get pictures of. They have Bentleys. I mean, they have high end. If you can think it, it's probably there. And then they have just the everyday cars. And maybe even if you're not in the mood or not in the market right now to buy a car, it's never hurts to look. So I think it's great. The Chicago Auto Show also has lots of events that are happening throughout the week and the actual show that makes it more interactive. So you can do track for Jeep, which was really cool. I didn't realize how much I love the Jeep on that. You can do the test drive with Toyota. Then they have simulators, kind of like racetrack driving. Then there's what I love, and they're at the process of getting ready to drive. Totally take them because they have a safety car simulator thanks to State Farm. So it's way in the back, and I thought it should have been moved further up, but I realized the reason that it wasn't. But it is great for your teen to get on the road in a simulator and kind of see what driving is going to be like. So I really enjoyed that. And if you're in Philadelphia, the auto show is here as well until the 17th. I have not been. I am planning to stop by today, so hopefully I can give you guys just a little tidbit of some things that you might want to look out for while you're there. But the interactive events are totally part of the reason why you definitely want to go head down there and see. And the other thing that I learned is a lot of times, we're buying these cars and sometimes at the dealerships, they're not really telling us everything that our car can do. We have all those buttons, and some of the buttons we know what work, some of them we don't. And oftentimes that we buy the car and the dealer gives us the basics, and we don't take the time to go the extra step to figure out what these other things are. And half of us never read the car manual. The car show is an opportunity for you to go in and work with an educator from whatever brand it is, and they can walk you through the bells, the whistles, the whatnot, the what so in all these cars. And that is a really great thing to know because you just don't know what your cars can do until you try and find out. Let's see. One other thing I wanted to show you guys that is always a great gift no matter who you're buying it for are sunglasses. So these sunglasses are by Dynamicos. It's a brand that I actually met. It's actually run by a female, which I was really excited about. I actually met her at an event in New York, and I've been a fan of the glasses. I love the way they fit. They're not too heavy. They have different styles, different colors. There's a lot of new things coming out for the spring. So that's a great gift to get as well. And the other thing that you can think about with getting someone these sunglasses could be kind of like the precursor to a gift. Get me? Okay. Wine. Who doesn't like wine? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So this is actually a sparkling liqueur that is organic. So if you want to drink a wine, try to get the best wine you can. And an organic one just always makes sense to me. So check that out. Those are the gift ideas that I have for some of for your Galentines. And actually, they can be gifts for your for your spouse as well, or you could tell your spouse, these are some of the things that I'd like. So Cassie is saying that she loves sunglasses. I hate to tell you that I love them too. And I have so many that it's crazy, but I tend to buy a pair every year. I can't help it. I feel like it is a perfect accessory to just dress up, dress down, any outfit that you have on, especially when you're out in public looking great. So as far as gifts for your significant other, what types of things have you guys been asking for? So people ask me this often, and I really often don't have answers because rarely do I ask for anything. I think it's because kind of, for the most part, whatever I want, I generally tend to buy. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Oftentimes I will mention something that my husband will be like, oh, whatever. And then it might just magically appear, as a gift from me, which is what he did for my birthday. I had been talking about these Rothy's that I wanted, and I just totally felt like I needed to buy them and went with my brand because you guys know that I am all about being eco-friendly and sustainable, and that's what they are. They're made from recycled material. They're machine washable. They're extremely comfortable. I've tried a few pairs on, but I was being cheap. I was like, I don't want to spend $100 and some odd dollars on these shoes. I was like, why do they have to be so much money? So I talked about them so much, and he bought them for my birthday. So sometimes that works. I have a friend who, what she generally does is she likes jewelry. So she will circle items in catalogs and leave them around for her husband to see them. Someone else I know sends links to her significant other about gifts that she wants. There's nothing out there that I really want like that I could even really do that and make it have an impact. Some of the things I want are really big ticket items, and to expect that for Valentine's Day would be a little not okay. But I feel like it can't ever hurt to try. One thing I do want to encourage you on this Valentine's Day to do with your significant other, with your gal pals, with whomever, is to talk about heart health. You know, this is National Heart Month, and we should always, always, always encourage our friends, families, whomever, to get checked out. The heart is our strongest muscle, and heart disease is one of the largest killers amongst women other than breast cancer. So I want to encourage you to encourage your people to be mindful of just healthy heart activities, things they can do. So I do have a post that I put together. I shared it on Facebook. And I just did a post on Instagram as well, where I just give you some tips and tell you there's a link that you can click in my bio on Instagram, which will take you to a site which will give you lots of details on just some healthy heart activities. You know, get moving, walking. Doesn't have to be strenuous exercise, but just something. You got to keep your heart pumping. And of course, shameless plug, I know, guys. Honey Nut Cheerios, definitely. This month, they're shaped like hearts. So buy it just for that reason. Pour it in a bowl and give it to somebody you love and say, I bought you this because I love you so much. Hey. And Cheerios is the type of thing that everybody in your family can eat. So it's not like, oh, well, this person's only going to eat it, that person's only going to eat it. Everyone generally loves Honey Nut Cheerios, so totally try it out. Okay, that's the end of my shameless plug there. But yes, so next up, The Photograph. Issa Rae's new movie, The Photograph, is coming out tomorrow. And I'm wondering how many of you are planning to go see it. So they've been talking about it on the news. And I was able to see the movie last week. I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I do have a review that is going to be coming out later tonight as you guys get prepared to hopefully see it this weekend, which will be a great weekend because it's an extended weekend. So what I've been saying is that it is the Love Jones for the millennials, or Generation X. Is that what they're called? Generation Y. I don't even know what generation it is at this point. I think that the first time I saw it, that was the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, this is supposed to be Love Jones. Especially when I saw the trailer, like, oh, this is supposed to be like Love Jones. You know, just the setting of it. You know, it's dark but not dark. You know, the love story between two strangers. You know, how they meet, all of that. But what I want to tell you is, I did see the movie, and it's not Love Jones. Love Jones is absolutely one of my favorite movies. Like I could probably quote you bits and pieces of the movies right now because that's how much I love the movie. So the Photograph is not that. It is a love story. I do feel like a lot of the story needs to be developed more. The soundtrack is amazing. When I tell you the music that they're playing in there, you're gonna be like, yeah, I need to buy the soundtrack. I definitely need to buy the soundtrack. So if nothing else, go see the movie because you want to hear the soundtrack. Because I'm totally gonna buy it when it's released. I feel like they have great chemistry together, and in the writing of it, I felt like they were so short and developing it that you didn't really get to see all of it. And I think that takes away from the movie itself. It was great. It was a good movie. I don't want to say it was a great movie. It was a good movie. It wasn't great. I enjoyed watching it. And I think you might enjoy watching it with your squad, you know, be it your significant other, be it your girlfriends. I actually saw the screening and I took some of my friends with me and we talked about it afterwards. And it's a great conversation piece about, you know, getting out of your own way, basically. You know, there have been times where, you know, maybe you've met someone at a, you know, crazy moment and you didn't take the chance on what could have been because of what happened to you in the past. So it talks a lot about that. And I just feel like oftentimes as women, I don't know if men said around to talk about this, oftentimes as women, you know, sometimes we reflect on relationships in the past or people that we've met and what could have or what should have happened, especially if we're not at a place in our lives where we are with a significant other or with someone. You know, a lot of times people tend to reflect back on what happened in the past or chance encounters and what could have happened. And I feel like that this talks about that. So hopefully you'll go check it out. Next week, what we'll do is we'll do a full dive. We'll talk about it. I want to know your thoughts. Hopefully you'll have seen it before next Thursday. But if not, that's okay too. I want to know your comments. What the first thing that you thought about when you saw it? What came to mind? And I really want to know what you think about the soundtrack. When I tell you the soundtrack is hot, ooh, that's a great soundtrack. So definitely, if for no other reason, check it out for the soundtrack. And of course, you always want to make sure that you support African Americans in film. Okay, guys. So I feel like this subject has been beaten with a dead horse. It totally has. I want to say I'm over it, but I don't necessarily know that you really can be over it because I feel like there's a lesson to be learned in this because history is going to repeat itself. Someone's always going to say something at an inopportune time, and the media and people are going to react. All right, so I'm talking about Gayle King. So she did this article with Lisa Leslie, and she was talking to Lisa about her career, what Lisa's up to, and the conversation to Kobe Bryant. So if you guys don't know, they have a very good relationship, her and Kobe, because at one point, I really want to say Magic Johnson was like mentoring them because they were both in LA. They both play basketball. They have a really, really good relationship. And so she was really just asking her what she thought about the rape case. Now, let's go back. So you all know, 2003, he was accused of raping a young girl, I want to say in Colorado. The charges were ultimately dismissed because she refused to testify. She didn't want to go forward with the trial. He issued her an apology. And, what we learned was that him issuing the apology was him issuing the charges being dropped were contingent on him issuing the apology. So he issued the apology, and he has always stated that he thought the sex was consensual. So of course people were like damning him, calling him all kinds of names, saying all kinds of bad things about him. When in fact the only person who really had the right to be mad was his wife. I mean, come on. That was the only one who really had reason to be mad. Yes. So Alonda's saying that he was a big supporter of the WNBA. Yes. Kobe was an extreme big supporter of the WNBA. Yes. Hence the reason why, his daughter is so great at basketball. So in the interview, she was asking her questions about it. And if you've got to see the video, it's not even 5 minutes, I guess. Lisa looks very uncomfortable, kind of like she was taken off guard. She was not expecting that to be the question. And rightfully so. Like, if you're interviewing me about my life and what I'm doing and my role in the WNBA and where I'm going with my career, asking me about the death of a friend, who just passed and some charges that are over 10 years old really isn't relevant. Like, who would have expected that? And I feel like people expected more from Gayle King. So what I've been saying to people is she is a journalist. And as a journalist, that's what you do. You ask the tough questions. However, my concern is there's always a time and a place for asking the tough questions. I never felt like she was like a TMZ where, it was her role to get the story first and crack the expose and all of that. Like, I never felt that about her. But realizing that she did this and the timeliness of it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. Not because I didn't feel like she should ask the question, but because of when she asked the question. So CBS then turned and took a clip of the interview, and that's what they've been posting. So people were in an uproar about it. I mean, like, all over the place. And rightfully so. Everyone has been celebrating Kobe, the achievement that he's done for his life. No one else needed to hear about the rape case where the charges were dropped. The case was dismissed. No one else wanted to talk about that. People were like, let us celebrate his life and his legacy. Because that's what we want to do. Like, that was making people feel good. People felt great about talking about his accomplishments, what he's done, his life, his legacy, and what he was, planning for the future. The book, the Oscar, and his coming up for eligibility for the Hall of Fame. There was so much positive stuff that people wanted to focus on. No one wanted to focus on the negative. So what happened is the clip came out. Gayle, after she started getting all kind of things, I mean, like, all kind of messages about it, she came on and she said she didn't know that they were going to post that clip. She thought it was in poor taste. Excuse me. So she goes on and talk about it. So I want to say this. Gayle is not a low-level reporter where they would put together clips and not share with her. So I refuse to believe that she didn't know that those clips were going to be played. I don't want to believe that. What I do believe is that she didn't expect people to take it where they took it, and it went far. All right, so so Alonda is agreeing with me. She says she didn't feel like it was appropriate, but Lisa responded with grace. She absolutely did, and I don't know how she held it together, because I might have got up and walked out just to avoid saying what would have been on my mind. But she did. She held it together with grace, and I felt like that is what we needed to celebrate. We needed to celebrate that Lisa did not show what they expect of Black girls. You know, she didn't go off. She wasn't angry. She held her composure. She said what she needed to say. Now, I wonder what she said when the cameras went off, but that's a whole nother story that we'll probably never know. But I'm sure she did not appreciate it. Right. And are ratings more important than ethics? Absolutely. And I feel like that's the gray area that Gayle crossed over into. She was more concerned with trying to get ratings, and she wanted to make sure that, you know, she knew that this was still hot in the media, and she wanted to be the one to, you know, that everyone is like, oh my God, Gayle. She wanted her interview to go viral for a positive reason and not a negative reason. And I think that it's a lesson to be learned that that's not okay. And what I wanted her to say, what I really wanted her to say is, you know, guys, I look back at the entire interview and I want to apologize to Lisa, because it was not it was in poor taste. It was in extremely poor taste that I asked her those questions when she was probably still mourning herself. You know, it's bad enough that his wife is getting all of it. Like, you know, anything she turns on TV, I'm sure it's probably, you know, you're celebrating him, but he raped a girl, and, you know, whatever the story is. But now you're bringing his friends on and you're talking to them, and then you're putting it in their face. Like, stop it. It's not okay. And then I feel like she took it a step further when she had Oprah go on the show, because everyone loves Oprah. No one is going to talk bad about Oprah. Like, I mean, come on. Everybody wants to be around Oprah. And Oprah started crying, and she was saying how she's been getting death threats, and people were like, we don't care. We don't care. Now, I don't think they should have been sending her death threats, but dang, y'all, like, y'all out of control. I mean, y'all was like shaming Oprah. It's bad enough I got Auntie Gayle. It's cool that y'all was like whatever to her. But dang, Oprah too? Here it is. And then Snoop. Guys, if you did not see the post that he did, I hope he deleted it. Like that's how bad this post was that he did. He took it to a whole nother level. I mean, a whole nother level. Like calling out her name, all kinds of things. He has later, 5 days later, I want to say it was, he did recant and saying that he realized that he was out of pocket. He should not have said that. What I really think happened is his mama called him and was like, I did not raise you that way. If you don't get your whole life together and stop it, because y'all know Snoop not really a gangster. Like that's just, you know, the persona that he's put on. He's not really no gangster. So I feel like his mama was like, oh no, that is not okay. And my whole thing is I would never want anyone to talk to me that way or any other woman. Like that was just not okay. Like what she did was wrong. Absolutely, it was wrong. But dang. So my question is, do we forgive Gayle? You know how we are. We all about this cancel culture. You know, we will trade somebody in a minute. Are we keeping Auntie Gayle? Are we trading her in? Is she on the fence? Like, can she not come to the barbecue? Maybe we'll slide her plate over the fence. Is she invited in? If she bring a dish? Like, talk to me. Like, where are we with this? I feel like what I hope is going to happen is that it's going to die down and she'll be able to recoup. But I'm not really sure. What are you guys thinking here? Let me see. So yes, Alonda agrees that she has full ownership of her work. Absolutely. Like there's no way that they took clips from her segment and then in their press meeting, which they have every morning. Like, come on, we all know how it works. They have every morning. They did not show her clips of what was expecting to happen. She was expecting something different from that, and it just did not happen. Sorry, Gayle. All right, so Tanya is saying that was not the time to ask about the issue, and then she pushed more about the issue instead of letting Lisa put it into the subject. Absolutely, I agree. She kept pushing her. I mean, listen, I feel like what the tweets that should have gone out should have been, Lisa, thank you for doing an amazing job in this interview and holding your cool. Like, that's what we need to be shouting out. And so today, I want to do that. Lisa, you did a great job. You held that interview down. I'm telling you. I hate that Gayle was the one who treated you that way, but you held your stance and you did an amazing job. And I think Kobe would be very proud of you today. Yes. So Tanya's also saying that Gayle flipped things to be the victim. She absolutely did. And that's the other thing that people weren't happy about. Like, just apologize. You didn't need to get on there looking all crazy, looking like you hadn't slept all night and you were crying. And and saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," saying, "I did not realize that was going to happen. When I looked at it, I would have been offended too, but that's not the full interview." How about this? I saw the full interview and I still felt like it was inappropriate for you to ask her that at that time. Yes, the clips were bad. Like, what they did make it seem like you just was going at her, but it was not the right time for you to do that. And that's what I needed you to acknowledge. I needed you to acknowledge that. And people who are, in journalism and all that, they understand it's about being the first person to crack the story. But most people who want to be the first people to crack the story are those people who are really trying to make a name for themselves. I mean, come on, Auntie Gayle, like you've arrived. Now you kind of went a few steps back on the bus. So I don't know what you're going to do, and we'll see how it plays out. But people are not feeling you right now. So Alonda is talking about how Matt Guzman is suspended from ABC for reporting misinformation on who was in the helicopter the day of the tragic event. Yeah, that was not okay. So I don't know why we are in this culture where everyone has to be the first. It's okay to be the fifth if you're reporting the right information. And I feel like when the information is coming from shows and people that you trust, it doesn't matter when you report it because people trust you. They're still going to come to you for the information. Now, everyone was kind of going off on TMZ about them dropping everything so quickly, but they did the same thing with Michael Jackson. Like, they dropped the information and it just happened to be true. So a lot of people go to TMZ because it's quick information. It's quick tidbits. It's not a whole story. It's quick information. Boom, they in and they out. Gayle, you broadcast a story. Like, there was no need for you to feel like you needed to do that. And I felt like you just wanted to interject yourself into that. And you just didn't need to do that. And everyone is agreeing with me that the threats were far from disrespectful and it was too far. It absolutely was. Like, no one should be threatening your life. Oh, Alonda seems to think that part of the reason why Snoop issued that apology was his attorneys got on the phone with him and his coins were at stake. So I don't know how much his coins would have been affected because he's running a real cool thing with Martha Stewart and it got nothing to do with Black people. So I don't know how much they cared about what he said to Gayle King because, you know how they care about the Black folks. So I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think it's great that, like I said, Snoop did come in and apologize no matter how it happened or how he got there. He was open and honest about it. He was like, yes, I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it. And that's what I needed Gayle to have done. To say, Lisa, I want to apologize to you. I was wrong. I should not have done that at that time. I realized that you were still in a period of mourning and it was not appropriate for me to even put you on the spot. And then she could have apologized to everyone else, to all Kobe's fans, to all her viewers. I was in a hurry or whatever she wanted to say to make certain that I brought news and information to you. And I kind of should have just taken a step back. So we'll see. Let's see. So Tanya is saying that Gayle is not the victim from the interview. Oh, so she's not invited to any cookouts or reunions for 3 years. Dang, Gayle, you're going to be hungry. Hope you know how to make collard greens, girl, and mac and cheese, because if not, you're going to be in trouble. So Alonda is talking about the code of ethics that the Society of Journalism has, and they all need to reread. I absolutely agree. But what's interesting is if you pay attention, a lot of those shows and people who do this type of reporting don't call themselves journalisms anymore. Like, publicly, we know they're journalisms, but they don't call themselves. I mean, we know they're journalists, but a lot of times publicly, they don't call themselves journalists because of that. Because then they have to abide by this code of ethics. So we'll have to see what is going to transpire with Snoop and Gayle and what's to come. Because if you pay attention, you see now where a lot more people are talking about it. All over the internet, people are still having a conversation about it. But what's interesting is that now Oprah and Gayle are being lumped together again. And so a lot of people are saying, they're not surprised that Oprah stepped in and was coming to Gayle's defense and didn't see anything wrong with the interview, because, she's anti-Black or whatever. I don't want to believe that about Oprah. I believe that she's very equal and very fair. People have been showing past interviews that she's done where maybe she's attacked people that way as well. And, this was kind of early on in her career. So maybe Gayle was taking a page from her. I don't know. If you guys didn't see, there was one interview that someone posted about an interview with Toni Braxton, where Toni Braxton talks about how she made her feel bad, how she was mean to her. And I think this was over when she was filing bankruptcy. And so she was like asking her questions about, people are talking about your financial situation. what are you thinking? And then it was something to the effect of, oh, Gucci flatware. I didn't even know Gucci made flatware. So just some of the comments were a little, okay, well, that wasn't very nice. But so now people are starting to go back through the archives and they're pulling out interviews and they're like, look, Oprah doesn't have any right to say anything because she hosts the same type of interviews. She's not very nice in hosting interviews as well. I don't know. I never felt that way about Oprah. I actually loved watching her show and I loved the interviews. I felt like they were in depth and she would ask the questions that maybe other people didn't want to ask, but it was timely. That's the difference. Like, I don't have a problem anyone hosting an interview and you asking a question that is timely. No problem at all. Like, no problem. Like, you can ask any question you want to ask, but I need you to be mindful and respectful of me. And I feel like that's what just did not happen to Lisa. She was put on the spot and anything could have come out her mouth. She could have started crying. I mean, so many things could have happened. She could have had a breakdown. Like, you don't know where she was mentally. And I feel like Gayle did her dirty by not trying to figure out where she was. And so as a result, I wonder, if Lisa would be willing to go back on her show again, or if Lisa has even spoken to her, because I don't think that Gayle has publicly apologized to her. So I just want to leave you all with this, in that I know that we are always in a hurry. We want to know the news first. But sometimes we need to wait. Like, it's okay. Like, the news doesn't change. Let's wait and get all of the details. Yes, because that day of the helicopter crash, the messages that I received about what had happened, and this is from like texts from several news sites that I follow and things of that nature, and the story changed every few minutes, and I was like, get it together. Like, stop sending out this information. Like, I had no high respect for TMZ. Like, I didn't expect TMZ to do anything different than what they did. Didn't expect it. But I did expect for stations, the bigger stations, ESPN, CBS, and all of that, to make certain that they had their facts right before they put it out there. And I will say that ESPN did do that, because where I was, ESPN was playing on TV. And it was a minute. It was a good few, maybe 5-10 minutes, if not longer, before it flashed on the bottom of the screen. And then someone came on and kind of like broke through whatever was playing and was like, they gave a special report. And they're like, this is all the information we have at this time. We will report back once we know, in fact. That's what you do. Like, keep people in suspense. Like, oh my God, what happened? Yes, people are still going to go on the internet and see if somebody else is breaking the story and if it's coming out. But that's okay. Your loyal watchers are going to come back to you because they expect the truth from you and they trust you. So that's my message for you guys for today. I hope you guys have some great things planned for Galentine's Day and Valentine's Day if you have a Valentine. If not, I wish you a happy Valentine and Galentine's Day. And I will see you all next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.